How often do you think people say they're fine when really they're not? Well, that's the kind of question we're going to ask people today in Paisley. And we're just going to check in and see how they're doing. So let's get into it. First of all, what's your names?
I'm Robert. Jonathan.
Varian.
Barry.
Jamie.
Awesome, I'm Mark, nice to meet you. This is Josh behind the camera as well. How often do you think people say they're fine when really they're not?
Probably 99% of the time. I'm not want to show weakness, are they? Especially men.
Most of the time, I'd say.
Aye.
How often do you think people say they're fine when really they're not?
All the time.
All the time?
Yeah.
Every time someone asks.
All the time.
Yeah.
A lot.
A lot.
Hi.
What's your name?
Innocent.
Innocent? Yeah. That's a cool name. How often do you think people say that they're fine when really they're not fine?
If somebody says it's fine, that means it's fine. I don't think people can be fine all the time. Sometimes people have mood swings. Some people tell you that they're not fine. They just open up to tell you this is how they feel. They're not fine.
How often do you think people say they're fine when they're not?
50-50 really.
Why do you think they do that?
All sorts of reasons really. Some just to false pretend that it is okay. Sometimes just people don't want to bother people.
Why do you think people say that they're fine when really maybe they're not?
I think it's so much more easier just to say that you're fine rather than say, no, I'm not fine, actually, I have this wrong and this is going on and I'm stressing over this.
I think it depends who's asking you as well. If you don't know the person, you're like, I'm
Yeah.
fine, they're not want to open up to somebody you don't know. But if it's maybe one of your family or that, it'll be a lot easier then because you know them.
A lot of people don't want to be burdens to anyone. They're like, oh no, I'm fine. You don't have to worry about me.
It's like a mask. It's a way to hide being vulnerable. The minute you start breaking down, you almost give them an invitation into your circumstance, and sometimes you don't want anybody else involved.
Yeah.
Why do you think people do that?
It's emotion really, innit? Like someone says you're fine, you know.
Why do you think that they maybe do that?
If they are not fine, they say they are fine. They're just doing that to just put off. They just tell people off that they are okay. In reality, they are not. How would somebody knows what is in your heart
Yeah.
or in your mind?
Why do you think we do that?
It makes life easier. If you're going about talking about your problems all the time, you don't have time to do anything else.
We're not really asking if anybody's all right anyway. What we really mean is hello. So nobody's going to answer with what the honest truth is. What they should be saying, yeah, I'm fine, thanks.
Yeah, because sometimes we actually ask the question knowing we don't want an answer.
Aye.
Like we're just
Aye,
like,
do
I'm just
that.
saying hello, let me leave. Like,
We should just say hello.
another question for you. Who in your life is someone that you feel you can be completely honest with?
Me dad. Tell him Martin, really. Martin.
Why is it?
Trust probably.
I know he's not going to go and tell other people. Whatever I say to him will stay with him. Unless what I tell him is going to hurt myself, and then he'll have to say it to me friends or whoever's around me. That's only partial trust though, isn't it? Because I mean, there's stuff I wouldn't tell my dad. And I'm sure
No, the stuff I wouldn't.
Yeah, the only person really is God, isn't it?
Right.
Because he already knows what you've done, so what's the point of lying about it?
Do you have anyone in your life that you feel you can be 100% honest with?
I don't think anybody is 100% honest to people. You can be more honest to some people that are close to you so that they can know your well-being, state of mind or whatever.
Yeah. You got like
Help you out,
a community to rely on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
My auntie for me, she's been up through a lot, and I know she doesn't judge me for anything I'm going through.
I have a few folk, like best mates, my girlfriend, church leaders, whatever. A network of folk for me, one person genuinely would become a burden if I had one person.
Is there someone in your life that you can be completely honest with?
My parents,
Your parents?
my siblings.
Your siblings?
Do you have anyone in your life that you can be completely honest with?
Yes. Probably my pals. I'm quite open with my pals. Yeah.
Oh yeah, my parents and my brothers, my family and that.
Do you think there's a God who actually cares about how we feel?
100% definitely. Of course, definitely.
He knows how you feel anyway.
I'd say he's probably the only one that really wants to know how you're feeling all the time. Yeah, no matter what you've done, he always loves you. So you can't let him down because he already knows what you've done and what you're going to do as well. Put your faith in Jesus, and I've never let you down.
Does God care about just the small things that we feel?
I actually had this Bible study one time. It was a couple of years ago, and it was a story about this little girl who was praying to God for her kitten, and like the man who was leading it was like, you can't bother God with that, but it's God wants to be bothered by the little things. It's like he is faithful in the small things, is faithful in the big things. If you bring the little worries to God, it's make it easier to bring the big things.
Do you think there's a God that actually cares about how we're doing?
I don't know. I do think there's someone, but I don't know what.
We're from a church in Paisley. So do you think God cares about how we feel?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you feel like there's a God in heaven that cares about how you're doing and what you think and how you feel?
I don't know really, because I think if there's a God in heaven, we probably would have got coronavirus, and there probably would be the war in Ukraine. So I don't really believe in God for things like that. So I don't think those things would happen.
Yeah.
If there was a God, to be honest.
All right.
Thanks so much. That's
No
all.
problem. That's all right. Thank you. Cheers, mate.
I'm always fascinated by that story in Luke. It's like the prodigal son,
Aye.
and it's like the father actually starts running to
Aye,
him before the
towards him.
son's even.
Well, that's
His
God,
arms
isn't it?
wide
Really,
open.
It's wild,
it
isn't
makes
it?
you feel like that's the relationship you've got with Jesus and God. I
Mm.
mean, we're always going to fail, but
Yeah.
knowing that God still loves you is probably the biggest, the main thing for all of us. It doesn't matter what you do, you still stand there with open hand, face your back regardless.
Last question.
Right.
How are you doing today?
I'm very blessed.
Yeah?
I'm a blessed person.
Awesome,
I'm
man.
always happy. I don't care about what the situation is. My trust is in God, and
Nice.
God is real.
Yeah.
Some people don't believe about the reality of God. God is love.
Yeah.
When you come in contact with that love of God, it changes your life completely.
I was just thinking about something, I don't know if you're someone watching this video and you're struggling with some stuff just now and maybe you've been praying about things and it just feels like nothing's changing, nothing's happening. I'm just reminded of the story of Jesus as he walks in the water out to the disciples and calms the storm and stuff. But the whole time during that, you've got the disciples in the boat, the storm's still happening, situation's still the same. Even when Peter walks out to Jesus, nothing's changed. And yet, Jesus is still in it. He's still there. He's in that situation. And so sometimes it feels like nothing's changing and it feels like God's not there. But just an encouragement to you, Jesus says, don't be afraid, I'm with you in that situation. And he says that today as well. So if you are struggling, you're praying about something that you feel like it's just not changing, just know that Jesus is with you in that. Some of the local residents. Excuse me, sir. Hi. How are you doing really? Oh.